Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Webtoon Book Club. Today's story is the video game store under the Barbershop. Yeah, that's a mouthful of a name. By, I hope I pronounce this right, Ilkwon Ha. Which is a name, or at least the stories by him, are going to show up quite a bit, as this is, I believe, his, sixth story on Webtoon. Give me a minute to confirm that. A little bit hard, because it doesn't let me go to his thing. He has several stories out on Webtoon. And they are good. They are all very good. Some of them are a little bit middling. But for the most part, they're very good. Some of them are a bit strange. Some of them are a little bit more serious. Some of them are absolutely bad shit. They're quite a mixture of things. This story is a lot more real. This story is a lot more grounded. It's probably the most grounded story this man has ever made. But, here we go. Our story starts with our main character, where she's just going about her life. Normal, boring, not really concerning about much. When she starts her first day of school, she notices another girl there who's playing on who's playing on a handheld system. And she's just wondering what's up with her. But she also is a bit afraid to speak to her because she always looks like she's scowling. That's just how her eyebrows are, though. She's actually pretty fine. But she misinterprets that she might be a bully because she sees her with another kid handing her money. She thinks that she might be a bad kid. But then she ends up coming across, on her way home on the subway, she ends up having her sit right next to her. And she kind of glances over while she's continuing to play on her handheld system and starts to get a bit fascinated by just the system itself. And she can't stop thinking about that and becomes a little bit more interested in wanting to play video games. So, she eventually builds up to talk to this other kid and asks her what she's playing. And she's just giving her short little answers, nothing too big. So she ends up finding that there's a video game store nearby her house, and when she goes there, she finds, oh shoot, this other girl is there. Running the shop with her older sister. And she she sees that they have another one of the systems that this other girl was playing. And she says that she wants that, and they tell her, well, this is like $300. It's a rare system, and there's not a lot of them, so it's quite a lot. And she's like, I'll get it, I want it. They try to convince her, maybe you want to think about that, because this is kind of an off-brand system. Brand system that's old, didn't really have a lot of games to it. Sorry, I had to sneeze there for a second. But there's not really... It's just one of those novelty items where it's rare and expensive, but there's also not a whole lot to it or to go for it. It's kind of more of a collector's thing. So she goes home and tries to talk to her older brother, and her older brother has his own little side story that we'll get into in a little while. But our main character kind of just avoids him a bit because he's kind of just off. Very off. Mostly because the start of his subplot is that he goes to the video game store to try and catch up with the older sister there because they went to school together. And he decides... And this store has arcade cabinets outside, so he sits down and plays the one. And when he does so, he ends up doing one of the Easter egg cheats in it. Which then, in the story, something peculiar happens, which is one of the strange things that this author tends to just be weird about at times. Rather, he gets transported back in time, or he's just kind of dreaming it all while he sits there blankly. It's kind of hard to tell. But we'll say he kind of just gets thrown into past memories and reliving his childhood at the time. A childhood that he's very much forgotten about. So his subplot is essentially he goes up and does that several times and tries to learn a bit more to try and reconnect with the older sister. And while with the main character, she's very adamant to want to play video games. So she does so. She does gather up money she's been saving for a long time and goes to buy the console. When she does, she loves it. She enjoys it. She has a really good time playing the game on it. And it's an RPG game. Kind of a Final Fantasy looking thing. And she plays that for a while and she's having a really fun time. So her and this other girl become real good friends, and she ends up coming across the other kid that she saw before on the staircase, and finds out she's also a real big gaming nerd. And gets to know, so all three of them start to get a lot closer with each other. And that's mostly how a lot of the story goes. It's mostly just these three interacting with each other and getting to know each other a lot more and just having a good time geeking out over video game stuff. But our main character does manage to find a more full-on console instead of just the handheld, an actual system she can plug into a TV, which they think at first that she might be getting scammed because she's getting it for a very cheap price, essentially like $55 for something that most stores would probably sell for hundreds. But it just seems that the guy who's selling it knows how much that these things tend to go for, but he kind of just wants to get rid of it. He just doesn't have any use for it. So she buys it, and it's not in the best condition. It's pretty worn down. The colors are faded. But she works her little art on it and actually paints back over the coloration on it with special type of paint. And makes it look like brand new. And even adds her own little unique touch to it to make it her own. So she ends up playing a little bit more fully on that system. And right as they get close, she gets towards the end of the game, she's finding trying to get through the last level really difficult. It's extremely hard, but she finds there's something that she might have realized that the game riddled at. And that is doing something that throughout the rest of the game apparently would hurt you. pretty badly, which is stepping over spikes. But in the last level, the spikes apparently will not hurt you. And when she finds that out, she gets so super excited. And even goes to run to tell her brother, because her brother and the older sister were apparently stuck on that exact same level 20 years earlier, and they never finished it. So everybody gathers. So the three friends end up agreeing to finish the last level of the game on Christmas Eve. So they're going to pull up a projector, hook the console up to the projector, and have it play on like a gigantic screen that they'll set up. Meanwhile, the brother as well goes with her, and both the older brother and older sister and the three friends are both playing the last level of the game separately. And they end up beating it. And they end up having a really good, exciting moment. And with that, we get the main character's closing remarks. And that is where the story concludes. It's not the most eventful story, but it is certainly one of the ones I cared for a little bit more. And yes, I have not mentioned anything about the Barbershop, because the story itself doesn't really focus at all on the Barbershop either. We get like 2 mentions of it during the whole story, and for the most part, it's kind of just entirely ignored. It's not important. It kind of has no reason to exist. It's just there for some reason. But regardless, it's a great story, and I had a really good time reading this one. And it's his newest one. That he both started and finished within the past, well, it finished within the past year. He started probably over a year at this point. But it's a good story, and I do recommend all of his other stuff. This guy has been on Webtoon for well over a decade, and I believe he's been making webcomics since before Webtoon existed. He probably just found that as an easier platform to put his stuff up on when it came out. But this guy has a lot of stories. I recommend almost all of them. This one especially is a very good one. So that's really all I have to say about that. So the list of stories will be in the description. Pick which one you would like me to talk about next and vote for it in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.